All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is that you are watching. I'm excited about your future. This is going to be a very short but yet impactful video. I want to come on real quickly and share this with you before I head into this next session. For those of you that are just now tuning on, let me know where you're chiming in from. I'll take about 30 seconds of introductions. While you're doing that, I want to remind you, back by popular demand is Motivational Moments in the morning. We kick back off live on August 3rd, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you want to be a part of Motivational Moments in the morning, it's 20 minutes of power and inspiration to help you get your day started on time and on top. We talk about concepts, not about companies. We talk about principles, not about products and people. All right, so that's going to be on Friday, the 3rd, August 3rd. We kick back off with Motivational Moments in the morning. Now, listen to me. If you want to be a part of that, it's going to be very interactive. We're taking it to season 2, which is going to be more interactionary, like I just stated. More important than that, we're going to be video conferencing. So we're going to be coming on via video versus the conference call system that we did use for season 1, whereas we did 365 episodes Monday through Friday. And so we're bringing it back. We're taking it to a higher level. Everybody's on social media. So if you want to be a part of that, you need to go and join When Dreams Collide, the private Facebook group. It's a community. That word community is a grammatical construct, common unity, okay? So we've got a community of entrepreneurs from around the world, business people, ministers, pastors. We've got everybody, every nationality, every race of people, because I believe the greatest soil to sow into is into the souls of people. And so we take that charge and we take that mission and that responsibility very, very seriously. And so it's going to be phenomenal. So join the When Dreams Collide. Okay, you can do a search, When Dreams Collide, and you can join it. Now, let me jump right into my discussion this morning. Listen, I need you to do me a favor for the next 20 seconds. For the next 20 seconds, this is going to be a very profound, powerful topic. And the perspective I'm going to glean from is one that you've probably never heard about if you have ever made this statement or you have ever uttered this statement yourself. Do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? I want you to do me a favor for the next 15, 20 seconds. I want you to share this Facebook Live. Somebody that's connected to you needs to see this. Somebody that is friends with you needs to hear this message. Somebody that you've probably given wayward information needs that to be corrected, because you may have broken their spirit, and this word, by its authority through the grace of God, is going to probably save their soul. So many times we use our words to destroy without even knowing we're destroying a person's potential. We're unmasking their promise because of our words and with our words. But let me say this to you. Do me a favor, share it real quickly. You ought to be sharing it on your wall. Do you want to be right or rich? You know, I've heard this terminology used in business for the last now 14 years, specifically in relative to the profession we're involved in, that of network marketing, direct sales. But I think it can be applied into every other business. The people that oftentimes use this statement, do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? 9 times out of 10 are using this statement because they're attempting to get a person to do something in a certain way that the person has not, for whatever reason, chosen to do it in. Maybe they're asking that person, do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? Because they want that person to go at a certain specific, task in a certain specific way. There's nothing wrong with that outcome. There's nothing wrong with influencing people, but I believe there is a challenge, and I'm completely against manipulating people. Now, I want to pause parenthetically for those of you wayward watchers, those of you that are what I call instigators of truth, that are going to screenshot this, that are going to interpret this as, oh, who's he talking about? Who he taking shots at? I'm not taking shots at anybody. I speak truth to power. Oftentimes, many of us, what we have been guilty of doing, and I've done this even in my own life through social media, personalizing people's posts to now infer it to other people. By virtue, I have to tell you this as my I guess my covering statement. This is not a shot at anybody. This has come through a series of conversations over the years, and I got this revelation. So do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? First of all, it is the lowest form. Here it is. It is the lowest form of leadership. Oftentimes, people that have said this statement have said it because they have not been able to get the buy-in of the individual to move them in the direction that they want to move them in. And so what they now are doing is using their title, their position, or their money in an attempt to move you. Do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? Well, baby, let me tell you something. Right and rich are not mutually exclusive. Would you post that right now? Right and rich are not mutually exclusive. Jarrod, what do you mean? Even a broken clock is right at least 2 times a day. Did you hear me? Oh God, I just heard you. I'm serious. Even a broken clock is right at least twice a day. So just because, listen to me, just because you are rich, it doesn't necessarily mean you're right. You could be broken. All right, let me come around the mountain. Here I come, and I'm closing, because I don't want to make this too long. Again, you need to join When Dreams Collide. Go join the Facebook group immediately. If you were going to do it eventually, you might as well do it immediately. Go join When Dreams Collide, because we're going to be coming like this 20 minutes a day, Monday through Friday, starting August 3rd. We are back on it for season 2. Now, let me say this to you. Why do I say it's not mutually exclusive? Just because you're rich doesn't mean you're right. Did you hear me? Just because you're rich, it doesn't mean you're right. Jarrod, prove it. I'm glad you asked. Have you ever heard of a gentleman by the name of Bernie Madoff? Sure, you've heard of Bernie Madoff. He had a B. He was one of only 1,800 people out of 7.5 billion people on planet Earth to have a B in front of his name. He was a billionaire. But Bernie Madoff not only was a billionaire, which categorizes him as rich, he also ripped people off to the tune of billions of dollars over the last 25 years to make him rich. In other words, he was rich, but he wasn't right. Okay, you want another example? Okay, you ever heard of a person by the name of Adolf Hitler? I'm getting deeper. Adolf Hitler, as you know, controlled all of Germany. Adolf Hitler was risen into power, and because he had power, he was rich. Adolf Hitler was rich, but he still killed tens of millions of Jews during the Holocaust. He was rich, but he wasn't right. He killed people to be rich. He killed people to be in power. My question for you is, how many dreams have you killed? How many people have you killed? How many sacrifices have you made on the altar of being rich? Let me finally close with this one. You heard of a man named Judas. Judas was an accountant. Judas got 30 pieces of silver to betray, watch this, not just his friend, but his mentor. I don't understand for the life of me how all of a sudden a person can be so wrong that has helped you do and become so right. In other words, Judas sold out Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. Judas, if you calculate 30 pieces of silver, in today's currency was anywhere between $3 to $30 million rich. Judas was rich, but he wasn't right. And so my point to you, ladies and gentlemen, is just because a person is rich doesn't mean they're right. Baby, I don't want to hear about what you're making per week. I don't want to hear about what you're making per month or per year. I care nothing about that. There are reality TV stars that earn millions of dollars. It don't make them right. And just because a person is not rich doesn't make the truth of what they're teaching wrong. Are you listening to me? Dr. Martin Luther King never had an M or a B in front of his name. He wasn't a millionaire or a billionaire, but he was right. He wasn't rich, but he was right. He was right for standing in the spot of civil rights in America. Nelson Mandela, the former prime minister of South Africa, he wasn't a multimillionaire or a billionaire. He was a prisoner, and he was still right, trying to bring about change to the apartheid that was taking place in South Africa. You look at, so many different examples. Mahatma Gandhi, he wasn't rich, but he was right, trying to bring about the desegregation of oppression that was taking place in India. Mother Teresa, she was a school teacher, but she addressed the United Nations not because she was rich, but because she was right. And so I want you to do away with following the rich just because they're rich. I want you to pass the place of immaturity to think that a person is right just because they're rich, because oftentimes people use their money to manipulate your mind. I'm not against money. We've earned millions of dollars. I am all for every single penny of you becoming rich, but not at the sacrifice of standing on the side of what's right. And so I want you to share this message because maybe somebody needs to lend their ear to this perspective, that just because you're rich doesn't mean you're right. Because right and rich are not mutually exclusive. Let me close with this statement. Just because everybody's doing it doesn't make it right. Just because everybody is doing it doesn't make it right. And just because nobody's doing it doesn't make it wrong. I want you to stand on the side of right today. I want you to sit in the corner of truth today, even at the expense of riches. Because the Bible says, what good does it profit a man to gain the whole world and yet lose his soul? Maybe so many rich people wouldn't be committing suicide. Maybe so many rich people wouldn't be hanging themselves if they stood on the corner of what's right. How do you determine what's right? That word right is a derivative of righteousness. To be righteous doesn't mean to be perfect. Righteousness and to be right means to be on and in the right standing of truth. Are you listening to me? Be in the right standing of truth. Why? I think this is what Jesus meant by saying it's harder for a rich man to enter into heaven than the eye of a needle. What does he mean? Doesn't mean he's against riches. Why? Because he's given us the power to create wealth. He's given you the power. He's given you and I the power to create wealth. So he's not against wealth. He's not against money. He's not against riches. Look at what LeBron James has just done with his riches for opening up that public school. It's not a charter school and it's not a private school. It's a public school, but he's used his resources. He's used his riches. He's used his wealth to do good in the community. So there's nothing wrong with being rich. But don't be rich at the sake or for the sake of forfeiting what's right. I want you to share this message. Post it on your timeline. I want you to go join When Dreams Collide. It's going to be on and popping. August 3rd, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. August 3rd, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Season 2 of Motivational Moments in the Morning. Share this message. Tag some people in it. Give me commentary. Let me know if this blessed you. Let me know if this touched you. Let me know if it resonated with you. God bless you. God bless your families. And God most certainly bless your dreams. Good night, everybody. Good morning, everybody. And good afternoon, everybody.